The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The country logged just over 1,000 new COVID-19 infections today, the lowest daily tally so far this year. The total caseload is now at 3.65 million, with 56,600 still undergoing treatment. At least 13 people died of the virus in the past 24 hours, bringing the death toll to 55,700. 6 of these deaths occurred this month, while the rest are backlogs. Meanwhile, total recoveries are now at 3.54 million after close to 3,000 new survivors overnight. The positivity rate has dropped further to 6.4% out of some 18,100 tests included in today's bulletin. The OCTA Research Group reports a further decline in Metro Manila's COVID-19 positivity rate. In today's Laging Handa briefing, research fellow Guido David said the rate is now down to 4.9%, which is within the 5% benchmark set by the World Health Organization. Professor David also noted that the NCR recorded an average daily attack rate of 2.85, which could drop to 1 by March. At an ADAR of 1, only 1 patient gets infected with the virus per day for every 1,000 people.
Low risk at 4.9% na lang positivity rate. This is less than 5% na ang recommended nga ng World Health Organization.
And over in Hong Kong, officials are considering even tighter COVID-19 curbs in a bid to stem an Omicron variant-driven surge. More details in this Bloomberg report.
You don't, and the Hong Kong policymakers, having seen this experience across other economies, right, what are we hearing that could be some of the ways that they're trying to get this under control?
Yeah, the outbreak is increasing pretty exponentially here in Hong Kong, and they know that they need to do something in order to get it under control. So they're thinking about doing things like increasing, tightening of where they allow people to go, perhaps closing shopping malls, reducing even further the amount of time and numbers of people who are allowed in restaurants. Most significantly, they're talking about different types of lockdowns that they could roll out across Hong Kong, not the kind of firm, hard lockdowns that we've seen across China where people literally can't leave their properties, but more along the lines of what was seen in the US and Europe and other places where everything is closed except for, say, grocery stores and restaurants, not to eat in but to do carry out. So they're thinking about rolling lockdowns, doing them in just some parts of town as the outbreak moves. They're just really at this point trying to be creative to get this virus under control.
Well, Michelle, it's interesting from the US standpoint because in this country it's been realized that given this path, you don't stop this virus by locking down periodically, particularly as it gets to be more transmissible, and when people are vaccinated, they stand very little chance of dying. Do you think that ultimately that's what the Hong Kong authorities will have to realize?
You know, in all honesty, I think that they do realize that situation, but the problem in Hong Kong is that it's just caught between a rock and a hard place. We know that no one in the world has ever gotten an outbreak of this magnitude under control and back to zero ever. So what Hong Kong is trying to do is something that has not ever been done anywhere. Not only that, you can still go into a restaurant and eat in a restaurant here. You can still go to a shopping mall and buy things in a shopping mall, which again, you're trying to do something that's never been done, but yet you're allowing things to happen that allow the virus to spread. So it is difficult. The problem is that in Hong Kong, many apartments are very small. It's hard to keep people in them, and they don't have things like kitchens. So how do you get food to 7 million people? It's just, it's an incredibly difficult situation, and I do think that they're trying to think creatively about it. In the end, though, you're absolutely right. The virus is going to do what it's going to do. You know, the chances of it actually being successful here is probably pretty small, getting back to zero, especially without doing the kind of hard lockdowns that they did in China.
We're going to pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Uniteam members are standing by a Marcos-Duterte tandem for the May elections amid calls for a Sara-Isko pair-up. Marlene Alcaide with the story.
Campaign posters promoting an Isko-Sara tandem are seen in some parts of Mindanao. When asked about this, Vice Presidential Bet Sara Duterte had this to say.
We already released a statement on that matter.
Sara's party Lakas CMD has clarified that their presidential bet is still Bongbong Marcos. Uniteam senatorial candidate Harry Roque said they are rock solid to the BBM Sara tandem.
Hindi po natin kontrolado yan kung sino man ang papalagay ng mga tarpaulin na yan. Pero gaya po sinabi ni Bongbong Marcos at ni Inday Sara at lahat kami sa Uniteam, nagkakaisa po kami. Bongbong Sara kami for President and Vice President.
Another senatorial bet, Salvador Panelo, meanwhile said the emergence of an Isko-Sara tandem did not surprise him.
Katunayan, maraming sa ating lahat ang gusto siyang tumakbong presidente. Yun ay isang estratehiya politika upang makakuha ng boto.
But as for President Duterte's endorsement, Panelo said the chief executive remains undecided.
Kami lahat ng mga Duterte followers ay naghihintay sa leader kung sino ang kanyang susuportahan dahil kami naniniwala sa kanyang kagalingan, yun ang susuportahan namin.
On Tuesday, Sara Duterte visited Batangas City for the opening of a headquarters. She also meets some of her supporters with Governor Hermilando Mandanas and Vice Governor Mark Laviste. The presidential daughter vowed to continue her father's projects, including the Build, Build, Build program.
We pledge, unang-una, ibalik yung mga trabaho na nawala dahil sa pandemya at bigyan ng support ang mga trabaho with the quality of education and of course, mapayapang pamumuhay para sa lahat.
Sara is also expected to visit the cities of Calapan and Bacolod to woo voters ahead of the May elections. For News 5, Marlene Alcaide, we are One News.
Here's a quick look at today's other top stories. Malacanang insists that the arrest of community doctor Natividad Castro is not a case of red tagging, despite her supposed links to the CPP and PA. Acting Palace spokesman Carlo Nograles also said that law enforcers maintain that they followed proper procedure. Migrante Hong Kong reports around 20 OFWs were sacked by their employers after testing positive for the coronavirus. But the Labor Department refuted this report, saying those are under quarantine workers who are set to return to the Philippines. And the United Nations will hold an Emergency Security Council meeting amid concerns over a possible Russian invasion of the Ukraine. This move comes after Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his troops to act as peacekeepers in 2 regions in the Ukraine. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere, or One News Now, anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.